Okay, we're doing comedy, boxcar. Richard, we're doing comedy today, and I want to talk about your first date, and I want to talk about the first spring. So your first date, some people have their first date very early in their life, maybe even in high school they start dating, and then you have your prom. Some people get together earlier as that. But your first date doesn't have to be in high school. Your first date could be after high school when you're in college. You can meet somebody in college. You can have your first date with someone that way. So your experiences don't have to be always about high school. A lot of people have dates in high school, then they go to the prom, and for some people, all their experiences were in high school. Your first date was in high school. Your high school sweetheart, and you want to get married with her. Some people have that kind of experience in life. For other people, it was more they have their first date when they were in college and they settle down finally, and they meet somebody during their college years, and you just go out with somebody. But those people that never really went out when they were in high school, you're not going to be left out. You can meet somebody in college when you're dating, or you can meet somebody from a work experience. Maybe you're not going to go to college. Maybe you could just go right to work. Some people that have this experience, they weren't rich enough to go to college, so they have to go to work. And sometimes you can find somebody through work, and you can have your first date experience this way. Meet somebody, and you can get together with somebody this way. I had my experience not early as high school, but after high school, you can have your first date, your first experience with somebody. But then you think, should I kiss her on the first date? Are there certain kind of meanings on your first date that you should not do? Or like, hey, how are you? Give her a big hug. Fucking guy doing hugging me on my first date. Maybe there's some certain things you shouldn't do on your first date. There's certain clues and signs that you shouldn't do. You should always be respectful, say thank you, or always say, I'm going to pay for your meal. And that's another thing. Should you always pay for your person you're with, pay for the meal. Always pay for the meal on the first date, or if you want to, she's nice, you want to give her a hug or a kiss. Should you kiss her on her first date? Maybe you're a freaking slut, and you shouldn't kiss her on their first date. Some people, they have one date, and next thing you know, they have 2, 3, 4 kids lined up. So for some people, first dates, there's no rules. For some people, first dates, there's strict rules, and you have to follow them. And that's how certain lifestyles are, how they change. Don't really know the rules of that certain person you're with on a first date. Is a hug acceptable? Is a kiss acceptable? Should you automatically think I'm the one that's going to have to pay for her meal? So she's ordering like steak, she's ordering wine, she's ordering all those high-end prices, and that's something you have to think about on a first date. It's something you have to pay for. The high-end wine and all that. And first date could be rough, and it could be taken advantage of, but something you have to go through life. But another thing I want to talk about is early spring. They have the gophers that determine the spring. I've just heard about it on the news. There are more than one. I always thought there was at least one gopher that would determine there could be an early spring. So if one gopher determines it's going to be an early spring, woohoo! That's the gopher you go for. Other gopher determines there's going to be a long winter. That's the gopher you shoot, and then you have an extended meal. So balance things out. Either you're a person for spring or you're a person for winter. You're a winter freak. So I don't know what else to kind of call them. Who wants to extend the winter? You call it winter freak. Mostly everyone wants a nice warm summer. They wear the girls wear their bikinis all summer long. Even those old ladies wear those bikinis that they shouldn't be wearing. You don't see those old ladies that are wearing those bikinis that they shouldn't be wearing over the summer. And not always going to be those pretty girls that wear those tight, skimpy bikinis that go to those beach parties, summer, spring break, and everybody wants to be at that spring break. The girls in the bikinis and the wet t-shirt contests. But sometimes wet t-shirt contests for a guy, and the guys dressed all for spring and summer. Summer's all hot and sweaty, and you need to have those summer breaks, or they're called spring breaks. Spring breaks or summer breaks, where it's like a long weekend they take, and you make a special spot where everybody gets together, and that's where you go party for that one summer. It's called summer weekend or something like that. And those are all the skinny men, all the muscle men, jack up 50 pounds of weights. That's the ones that they go to, and they wear those little tight bikinis, and all the girls go, whoa! All the girls scream and all that for 5 hours. Those jacked up men strut their muscles. But you need to have those spring breaks to realize the summer. Then summer's over, and then you're back in the winter. Feel snow falls, and you're freezing your butt in the winter, and you need to have that release. And those are the two things I want to talk about this summer, the spring. Maybe calling it the spring break, but so I can change it a little bit. But it's how I'm talking about in the comedy. Try to get something interesting into it, and I always try to influence Dolly in my comedy. The way she was brought up, and I try to have her in my experience in my comedy as well. I do song practice as well. I learn new songs, so I'm keeping the name Boxcar Richard for my comedy, and I am from deep in Hollywood. That is my comedy routine, and this is my third act, and thanks for watching Boxcar Richard from Deep in Hollywood. And my third comedy routine. So the first date and the spring break. So I think that's what's going to be called. First date and the spring break. Initially it was going to be about spring. I think it's called spring break or summer break or something like that. About the summer, you need to have some kind of release. And that's what happens. A lot of those girls get excited about the spring break, and they go to that one spot throughout the whole summer. And that was kind of fun little topic there. Thanks for watching. My comedy hours.